Hi, it's Kevin Gilligan at photosbycag.com, and today I'm going to talk with you about 10 things that you should ask your photographer before you sit down for a portrait shoot. Number one, a contract. You should have a contract. If you don't, you should ask for one. I am a firm believer that every photographer should have a contract with every client. Before anyone sits in my chair to take a picture, we have contracts. That makes it clear for everybody what the expectations are about how many items, what they're going to get, what the pricing is going to be, when it will be delivered. And I think it's better if you have that in writing so that there are no surprises. It protects you, it protects the photographer. Second, work samples. Ask the photographer for some samples of their work. What kind of portraits are they known for? Do they have a particular style? Does that style fit with what you want? Because as the consumer, that's really important that you're getting what you want, obviously. Maybe they shoot all black and whites. Maybe they shoot in color. Maybe they have a very bright style and you're looking for something more muted. Who knows? But you have to ask for some samples and have a discussion with them about what you're thinking so they'll be better able to help you. Hair and makeup. Hair and makeup is very important for any portrait shoot. It's important for men. It's important for women. Women tend to have more hair, certainly more than me. I think it's very important for them to have hair done the way that they like it. Ask your photographer whether they have someone who will come and be part of the portrait shoot and do hair and makeup, or whether you're expected to do it on your own. But if you don't do hair and makeup on your own or at the shoot, it's very likely that you're going to pay more for work in editing after the fact. For stray hairs, depending on the type of hair you have, it can take a lot of time to do that kind of work. So plus with makeup, it's important, I think, for women who wear a lot of makeup or don't wear a lot of makeup, that they have it the way that they like it. Is it too light? Is it too heavy? Certain colors, etc. And I think if you work with someone that you know, or you talk to their hair and makeup person ahead of time, that's a really important thing to do. For guys, you want to trim your nose hairs, you want to trim your beard. If you're like me, you get Irish eyebrows, you got to trim the crazy eyebrows. You need to take care of yourself as well. Get a haircut so that when you come in, you look good. Posing. Talk to your photographer about how they're going to pose you. And if you are used to shooting, if you're used to having pictures taken, then you might have a certain way that you like to pose. Maybe you know that you want to sit a certain way. Maybe you like to look with one eye towards the camera. You have a certain facial structure that you like or you don't like. Talk with a photographer about it. There's different ways that using lighting, you might be able to bring out certain things in your eyes, or you might be able to slim your face. There are different things that you can do with lighting and posing if you talk with your photographer ahead of time about that. Let them know what your concerns are and what you're looking for. You can even give them examples. I think it's very useful to bring a photographer an example and say, I like this portrait. Can we do something inspired by this? Cost. What's the cost going to be? Costs could be many. There's costs for editing. There's costs for printing. There's costs for studio time, creative fees, etc. So I think that cost is really important to put in the contract. We talked about having the contract, but it's important to talk through what that looks like so that you're pretty clear about it ahead of time and everybody's happy. Editing. Editing is an important thing to talk about as well. So when you take a shoot, in my shoots, typically I'm sitting with someone for say 30 minutes to an hour shooting, and then I'm usually doing 2 to 3 hours of editing, something like that. So you want to know ahead of time as a client, how much is the editing going to cost me? Is it included? What if it goes over a certain amount of time? How much do I pay on top of it? What I do is I include a certain amount of editing time, and then beyond, say, 3 hours, I charge for additional editing. And I rarely go over it, but once in a while I do. And then it's fair for everybody. I don't resent the extra work. I'm happy to do a good job for my client. And I think my client appreciates the fact that I'm saying, hey, look, you wanted more than 3 hours of editing. We contracted for this. And so I'm going to have to charge a little bit extra. But, everybody's happy. Everybody knows there's no surprises. And I think that's a good way for everybody. The number of files and what are they going to be like? And what I mean by that is, are you expecting one image? Are you expecting 10 images? What's the discussion there? And I think you have to have that conversation with your client. If I have someone who is coming for a headshot for LinkedIn or something, typically it's 1 or 2 files that they want to have that are done. And so having that discussion is important. If you're expecting 20 images and you only get 2, you're going to be unhappy. And the photographer doesn't want you to be unhappy. So have that discussion with them about what you're looking for and in what format. Are you looking for a finished print, or are you looking for a digital file that you're going to print? And what does that look like? So have that discussion about what's the end product, what kind of files. Timelines. When is important. How soon are you going to get the product? Are you going to get it the next day? Are you willing to pay extra for a speedy service? Is it 2 weeks? Typically I give myself 2 weeks in a contract. I'm usually getting something to the client within a week. But I've had rush jobs. I had someone who said, I got to have it tomorrow. And I said, okay, but I have to charge you extra. So talk with them about timelines and what's reasonable for you. And I think your photographer will be happy to work with you. You might want to bring some music in. That's always fun. If you're doing a portrait shoot, I have a rule that who's ever getting their portrait taken gets to pick the music. So maybe bring a playlist on a phone, have some music, ask the photographer about that, because that might make you feel more comfortable. Lastly, have fun. I'm glad you made the decision to have a professional take your picture, take your portrait. They're going to do a much better job for you. It's great. Enjoy the time. And I can't tell you how many people have had pictures and then they come back later and like, I'm so glad I did it. Something changed and, we captured that moment, and it's really important to me and my family. So, you're never as young as you are now, and I would definitely recommend that you have professional portraits done of you and your family, because, things change, and they might be super valuable to someone in your family down the line, and they would really, really appreciate that formal portrait. So thank you for watching. And I hope this was helpful to you. If it was, like it, comment, follow me on YouTube. You can get my newsletter by texting the word Photos by CAG to 22828, and check out my site, photosbycag.com, and spread the word. Thanks very much. I hope you have a great day.